Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another Chelsea news show, but also match reaction. It's going to be a bit of both today, guys. Caicedo deal confirmed yesterday. Absolutely buzzing for that. How excited are you guys in the chat for this deal being done as well? 115 mil is the supposed price, which we're going to be talking about today in regards to Caicedo. There's also news in around Romero Lavia as well, which we'll be talking about today. We're going to be talking about everything, man. Everything. From what we saw from yesterday's game to obviously a bit of transfer news as well, which is where we're going to start at the beginning. We've got the panel to be joining us today as well. They will be in and sharing their thoughts and opinions as well. Sorry about the Wi-Fi if it's a bit funny at the moment. It seems to be very low. I don't know why, but having problems with Wi-Fi's. But big up to every single one of you guys. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Smash the like buttons, guys. Hit the likes for Caicedo. That's all I'm going to say. Hit the likes for Caicedo. Let's hit this. Enzo, Caicedo. We move. Let's cue that. Well, once I get there. Don't know where it's gone. Intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another show. As always for you guys. And I'm back. The season's back. Chelsea are back. 1-1 draw with Liverpool, which we're going to get into as well. Got really itchy nose all of a sudden. Something's happened. What's happened? Why is my nose so itchy? Have we got a surprise from Fabrizio Romano? What's Fabrizio Romano saying? Let's have a look. Okay, 2 minutes ago. Cool. All right. Do you know what? F it. As I'm on it, and we're going to talk about Caicedo later, I might as well just bring up this news very quickly for you guys, as it's in my face. Caicedo has just completed the main part of his medical test, started around 9 a.m. UK time. Now time to sign the contract as a new Chelsea player until June 2031 with the option until 2032, guys. He has completed his main part of his medical. He's probably now going to be walking around, getting the videos for the Chelsea news page, you know, talking, interviews, whatever, mixing with the players. Probably go straight into training if they're still obviously training as well. So we'll probably get to see him doing that as well. So there's a lot. There's a lot. And he is a Chelsea player. And we're going to talk about more about him in a bit. We're going to talk a little more about him in a bit because obviously he's going to be one of the centres of the topics of what we talk about today anyway. Big up Caicedo. Caicedo is a blue, guys. We're going to talk more about him a bit later. I'm just quickly trying to do something as I speak as well with you guys. There we go. And we'll come back to more news in Caicedo in a second. But how is everyone in the chat? Obviously, Chelsea drew 1-1 yesterday. We're going to be talking about that as well. Ashraf, how you doing? Leo, Bonnie, what you saying? How you doing? I already smashed the likes. It's Caicedo day. Smash the likes for Caicedo. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Smash the likes, guys. Over 100 people in there as well. Roseanne, what you saying? Corey, nice to see you as well. Proof says Enzo and Caicedo. If there's ever a moment where I've been more happy, there was 2 moments actually. There's one when we signed Enzo Fernandez because I wanted this guy so much. Everyone that knows me well enough knows how much I used to talk about Enzo Fernandez being such an important individual for us. But secondly, the fact that we're going to be have signed Caicedo and having Caicedo next to him is just something else. It really truly is. And we're going to talk about that, about them two together. The era of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez begins, guys. Get excited. Get excited. Felt good about yesterday's match. We're going to talk a bit more about that, M3, but big up to you as well. What we saying, Pez Lord, nice to see you. Nice to see you as well, bro. Surfs, how you doing? I Kenna, nice to see you. Sosa's in the building. Yeah, it seems like we're a lot more happier today. You know, us Chelsea fans, we like to go up and down with our emotions, but today I think we should be happy. We should be happy, man. We've got Caicedo. Caicedo gets his happy ending. Let's go. Come on, let's go. He did, and we're going to talk more about that. But there is some other bits that we need to get into before doing so. And we will start with it, shall we? We're going to fly through it because there is also Lavia, guys, that we need to talk about as well. But there's something that's come out quite interestingly with more potential outgoings going. And I expect now that Caicedo signed and the potentials of maybe another attacker and another midfielder coming in, that more outgoings are going to happen. Marc Cucurella is being spoken about the potentials of going on a loan move to Newcastle. Now, Felix is said to keep an eye out on that one because Chelsea are looking to offload. They've got a lot of defenders, guys. When you go through it, Badiashile, Sassy, Fana, right, he's injured, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Maxson can play off the left, Reece James, Malo Gusto. There's a lot and a lot and a lot of fullbacks, defender options, which maybe we don't need to have at the moment. And Chelsea are probably looking at it as a position of where they can maybe offload for the season, because maybe we need to anyway for a specific part of the season. I think a low move for Cucurella, is it an option? Should we do it? I'll ask you guys a question in the chat. Would you guys be happy to see Cucurella leave Chelsea on a low move? Let's be serious. Big up Couch in the building. We got him. We got him, bro. We got him. Couch, I'm going to put the link in the chat sooner rather than later. I'm just going to do the news and then we're going to do the match reaction together, yeah, as a panel. So I want to talk about that. We smashed our chamber and we're about to still here. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Yes, Bruno, what you're saying as well. Hope you're well. Joey's in the building. Sosa, Ashraf. Come on, guys. How is everyone, man? Caicedo is as. I keep saying it. Smash the likes for Caicedo. That's all I've got to tell you. So if you don't smash the likes for Caicedo, then you're not happy. That's literally it. So smash it. Everyone in here, just smash the likes, man. Yeah, going on to staying on to Caicedo. I like that. Caicedo. Go back to Cucurella. What were your thoughts now? Big up Santiago as well. Newcastle, what? They're title contenders for me. No way, deal with them. What, even on a loan? If we sell Cucurella, it's not a sell, guys. It's a loan. Remember that. It's a loan option for Marc Cucurella to leave. There's a little bit more to it as well, which I'm going to quickly... Oh, why do I always do that? Oh, why do I always do that? I go to open the stream and I close it. So annoying, man. Now I've got to go through it again. What number do we think Moises Caicedo will wear, guys, as well? What shirt number do we think Moises Caicedo will wear? Tell me in the chat why I'm looking. Where's it gone? Oh, my God. Can't find it. I literally had it there. Something I wanted to share with you on Cucurella. Maybe I'll find it here. Deal with either including an option for. All right, cool. We'll use this. All right, so let's move that over here. I've got lots of tabs open, guys, like thousands. Too many, to be honest. Guys, nearly 200 of you here. Big love to you as always. So look, we got more information on here, and it goes on from Luke Edwards, who is he works for the Northern Football Writer Daily's Telegraph as well. So quite a legit firm, as we know. Newcastle United are looking to sign a left-back on loan with Marc Cucurella of interest in him. A deal would include either an option or an obligation to buy the player next summer, and there is some confidence that a breakthrough can be reached. They also have interest in Kieran Tierney. So there's a good chance that it will go alone with either the option to buy or obligation. I think the option is probably better because it leaves us, if he has a really good season at Newcastle and, we want to bring him back with him in form, then we can use him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the obligation to buy is a good idea because once you do that, then that means if he has a very good season, his market value increases. We end up losing the player because they're obliged to take him on. We might even lose out based on how much we've already paid for him anyway. So it'd make more sense to do the option rather than the obligation. The option will then allow us to scan his performances over the season. So if he does perform well for them, we'll be able to carry a bit, right? And that's the aim. What's everyone saying in chat? Nearly 300 people in the building. Big love to all of you. Rivals have been mad. I replied, yeah, I know they are. I love it, mate. And we're going to talk more about rivals and they're crying about the FFP and Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea spending so much money. How are they doing it? Oh. Cry. That's all I'm going to say. Cry. Yeah, it's not our fault. That the one thing you can compliment these owners on, and we're going to talk about it more in a bit later, is that they've always managed to find a specific loophole that fits into what they're doing. So not actually breaking any rules. They're actually just finding ways to get things done. And that's what these rivals don't seem to understand, because they just look at figures and they go, oh, you spent this much. How are you doing that? They're cheating. Oh, and then I heard Liverpool Liverpool owners saying that they're looking to concretely report us about what we're doing again. Oh, I spent 800 million in near enough 2 to 3 seasons. That is not possible against the Premier League rules. Blah, 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 blah. That's all I hear. Because again, there's a lot in it, and we're going to talk about it. I won't be crying, mate. Yous are the ones crying. Yous are the ones crying about what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? So just cry me a river, literally. Cry us a blue river is what we got here. And as I was saying, we are still winning the race. We're going to talk about Lavia very soon. So let's get away from Marco Correa. But that's one to just keep your eyes on, guys, going into that as well. Right, another one that looks like it's starting to heat up as well is the signing of the potential of Olise. Michael Olise is apparently supposedly agreed personal terms with us. And he's looking to secure a deal of around £45 million. I want to know what your thoughts and feelings are on this one, guys. Do you feel that the 45 million for Olise is a bargain? Do you think he's maybe a bit too much? Obviously, we know he's a very talented player. We looked at his stats in the show before. Created 11 last year, 11 assists. Doesn't score many goals. He only had very low numbers in terms of goals. But when it comes to the creativity element, and we saw it again yesterday. Yes, we have Enzo Fernandez. He creates, right? But who else is really a creator in that forward line? Madueke. Can he do it as of when he comes back? Not sure. Is Mudryk a creator? I don't know if he's a full creator. I don't. Again, Carney. I'm not. Again, I like Carney, but I just don't feel like he's there with it still. Even from yesterday's game, we're going to talk more about later as well. We're missing someone that can just give us that creative element at the moment. And what Olise will do is he will create. We know he's amazing with his left foot. He's direct. He dribbles, and he always looks to find his man in the box. And on top of that, he's very good at doing so. Double digits in assists for him last season. I think this is a very good option for Chelsea Football Club going into this one. And makes a lot of sense. The only issue you have with him maybe is that he is injury prone. He is. But, at the end of the day, I don't know how serious injury is. We'll have to look at it. I've not looked at the stats on his injuries and whatever. But, moving forward, I don't know. I think he's definitely worth it, What we're saying here, who will put up the ball to the nets? Too much pressure on Jackson. Who will put the ball to the nets? Well, this is the problem we have, because Christopher Nkunku is the guy, and you heard it from Pochettino's interview after the game yesterday, where he said the idea was to not have Jackson isolated and having Nkunku playing more close to him. They had a chemistry, they were linking up very well, and they created for each other. That's what we're missing at the moment. I think we're missing someone that can play a lot closer to someone like Nicholas Jackson, and I think that's why we're looking at maybe an Olise that from the right can potentially support Jackson in assisting him, so that when he makes these runs, we find him. Do you know what I mean? So it's an important one. I don't think we need creativity. It's the goals. I think we do need creativity. I think we still need someone that can create from the forward line, in my opinion. And it's not really so much to go. I mean, yeah, Nicholas, look, we lost Nkunku, right? And should Jackson have scored yesterday? Yeah, potentially. When you look at that chance, if he keeps it down, he puts it in the back of the net. He had 2 or 3 good chances, actually. But we'll talk more about that. But, yeah, we do need more goals. We do need more goals. And that was one thing that we said we needed to try and sort out. Is a better option for a 10, and he isn't injury prone, by the way. Well, he's suffering from an injury. Whether or not it's a little bit like a long term one, we have to wait and see. If Pochettino wants him, get him. Is what we've got here. Zhao says we need more attacking players who can win games. Kudus would have been great, but it seems like West Ham are now in the races from what we've heard today as well. And it's not really like we're hearing much from the Chelsea side to say that we're actually looking to try and take this on as well. Guys, we've still got Lavia and we've still got Caicedo to get into, which we're going to get into very shortly. Lavia go to Liverpool. That's it. Well, no, apparently not. Apparently he's not his first choice. I think his first choice is us, but the club Southampton have agreed with Liverpool on a higher fee, so it makes it a bit harder, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Kudus is West Ham is surprising. I think is perfect for us. Yeah, we'll have to see. More onto that, we did have some news come out on about Olise, but from Get French Football, which is that Olise has agreed personal terms with Chelsea to France under 21's favours a return to London. club over a move to Man City. So it looks like this one's lining up quite nicely and could potentially happen. And keeping him fit and having him, I think, is a very good option against Madueke, who again has still got to come back as well. Maybe we don't want to play Madueke too much because, as we know, he can pick up injuries as quite frequently as well with too much football, in my opinion. So having good competition on that right is perfect. And I think Sterling then moves across, and you have Mudryk and Sterling playing off the left, which makes more sense to me. That's why we will try and do that moving forward, guys. But yeah, away from that, let's talk about Romeo Lavia, because last night we were told that Chelsea were very close and it looks like Chelsea were going to sign him. And then this morning we'll be told the difference. And it looks like Liverpool, who have lost out on Caicedo, are also trying to sign Romeo Lavia from Southampton. And we're back into a war again with them because, let's be serious, they don't have anyone. They don't. They don't have a DM. And they need a DM. What's going on here? And they need a DM, and they haven't got that at the moment. But they've thrown in apparently a £60 million deal for Southampton, which actually has been accepted. Now, the difference now is a bit like the Caicedo deal, from what we're being told. Lavia has also agreed with Chelsea that he's happy to come across. But now Liverpool are also in the frame. He's never really turned the eye of not wanting to play for them. He's always been kind of happy to also play there as well. So it leaves it into a catch-22 again. Who will Lavia choose? What project? Will he want to go to Chelsea? Or will he want to go to Liverpool? That's the real question mark here. Where will he get more games is the real big question as well. So could we use him? Yes, we could. We could play him in a 4-3-3. And the 4-3-3 would look more of something. And we're going to bring this forward for a second because I wanted to do this with you anyway while we talk about Lavia and Caicedo. A 4-3-3 would look more something like this, where he would sit there, Caicedo would play there, and Enzo would play there. And that would be a good option for Chelsea going into not every game, because I think we would, in certain games, we'd play a 4-2-3-1, and maybe we wouldn't get as many games. And then you could have someone like Mudryk there with Jackson. And then let's just say Elise. Let's just say, for example, as we're hypothetically playing it, you could have something like that, you know, and it would still be effective because Enzo Fernandez would be released and he would join these further up, picking out balls to these, and it'd be amazing. Caicedo will pretty much sit next to Lavia or be a little bit further forward than him, just eating up the play, winning balls everywhere. And Lavia will be the protection to the defence. He would just do what he does best, which is more of a DM specialist role, sit in front, win the ball, get stuck in, you know, provide that protection. Both technically good. All three of them are technically good with the ball. All three of them are strong, aggressive, you know, box to box, pace, whatever, you know, and they all complement each other. He's what we saw yesterday. We're going to talk about him because I haven't got words to explain him. But Caicedo will now provide that support to Enzo, which means he won't have to worry about going forward as much and will win balls where he can. And if you beat Caicedo, then you're going to have to do a Lavia. So it can be used in a back four. And I think why we played the back five yesterday was just because of the lack of what we had in the middle going into against Liverpool, who were playing a very offensive team. But if we would have had Caicedo and Lavia yesterday, mark my words, they would have played. This is the system I think we would have played. Maybe Sterling would have played, obviously, without Elise and whatever. But this is where I think what it would have looked like as well. Guys, 350 of you here. Keep smashing the likes. It's Caicedo Day. We should have some news hopefully soon while we're live as well on that. He's done his medical. He's a big part of the medical. So that's all done and signed off. He's just signing the contracts. And then it's obviously the full announcement from Chelsea Football Club and others for the deal on Caicedo, who we're going to talk about more in a second. But we have got more news around Lavia, which is where we are at the moment, guys. This one comes from a Liverpool fan who says that reliable reports are emerging that Lavia prefers Chelsea due to his relationships with Joe Shield. Now, people go, most people know who Joe Shields is, but for people that don't, he was part of the Southampton board, moved over to Chelsea, has a very good relationship with Lavia. Lavia, very close relationship with Lavia. He is being pinnacle on trying to persuade Lavia to join the Chelsea project. Lavia himself might look at this of being a case of, well, I've been sort of second choice in all this. Caicedo for Liverpool and Chelsea has been the main priority, and he's been kind of left aside. But the only thing that Chelsea done very clever is they laid the £55 million bid for him, and obviously done most of the work while we were still trying to agree the Caicedo deal. I feel with Liverpool, they kind of just fell asleep and they tried to really hard with the record-breaking fee to try and sign Caicedo. And Southampton have looked at it and gone, well, we wanted 50 million, but now we're just going to do what Brighton do, highest bidder. And obviously 60 million, 10 million more than what Lavia is, has been put forward by Liverpool, in my opinion, who are scrambling around now trying to get a DM. Chelsea have got Caicedo. Maybe don't really have to rush to get Lavia, but I think for the depth, for the options of structure systems that we play in the bigger games, where we need solidity in the middle, you could have Caicedo and Lavia next to each other. And I'm telling you now, that is energy, that is pace, that is power. That is everything that we've missed in so long for the last 3-4 years at this football club. So I would like us to go and get this done. I wanted Lavia for a while anyway. And the fact that we've got Caicedo, all right, he's everyone's first choice in many ways. But having Lavia gives us a complete different ball game, complete different spectrum, guys. Nearly 400 of you guys here, guys. Big love to you. Keep smashing the likes. Get these likes up, man. I think we have to try and get it done. Eden Hazard was at the game yesterday. Was also told that he tried to convince Lavia, who apparently was in London, guys, from what we read yesterday, was in London celebrating supposedly with his friends about a potential move. But obviously Liverpool have thrown stuff in the woodworks, and we now find ourselves in a position of a tug of war. But it's going to fall down to him to make the choice. What's he going to choose? Is he going to choose the red, where he will get loads of games because he's the only DM they will have, and he will be probably played a lot, which will favour that, I'm pretty sure, and he won't turn an eye to, or the blue project, or he may have to compete a little bit more, may not play as many games as he might at Liverpool. But if we can at least show him where he will fit, what we will try and do with him, if Poch wants him specifically, then I think we've got to try and get this deal done. Chelsea are close to agreeing on personal terms with Palace, which we already know. Chelsea also advanced talks over a 55 million move, which is Deniz Arkin said. So we're getting conflicting reports. Some people saying, he's going to go Liverpool and that's going to happen. Others are saying Chelsea's still firmly in control of this deal and trying to push it as well. And then we've got Felix saying here, as it's exclusively revealed, Liverpool preparing a bid for Lavia, a bid now submitted. Chelsea have to match the bid, but the player's decision is also crucial. Joe Shields was key in convincing Lavia of Chelsea, but Liverpool to now have been the strong favourites for him. So will Joe Shields' influence on Lavia pay off? Will we continue to keep him focused on being with us and joining us is a big question. £55 million is what we paid. What we did with the Caicedo deal, which made the difference, was the sell-on clause and the higher wages given to Caicedo, which was a difference, and beating them. Obviously, we put another $5 million down, fine, but in add-ons. But will they do the same for Lavia? I don't think we're going to stretch it, in my opinion. Not now with what we've done with Caicedo. I think the 55 million is where we probably want to be. I think we're probably going to try and potentially offer him more wages just to get the sign off. Southampton was supposedly all right with the 55 because originally the 50 was what they wanted. 55 was fine. 60 from Liverpool has also been signed off. But are Southampton going to hold the same affair as what Brighton did? Are they then going to say, well, actually, we want to send it to we'll sell to the highest bidder? For them, they'll make more money. It'd make more sense to do it. They've seen Brighton do it. So would they do the same to Chelsea and Liverpool? That's the real question mark here. Why is a Liverpool fan in the chat? Is he in the chat? If Liverpool try to go back for that, something where we charge Liverpool. Well, the same things happened with the Caicedo thing, to be honest. So we will see more what goes on with that. But I've got to keep stressing, and from people that some individuals that are actually quite close to the whole situation have said that it still indicates that he has a desire to move to Chelsea. We'll wait and see, guys. I say keep our minds open. Another one that's very close to him is Darko. Darko knows him quite well. Someone that I know very well on Twitter as well. He just says that I'm just happy that Uncle Joe and our wizard Eden Hazard managed to sway his mind. Nothing is done yet, though. He still seems to think that Lavia still wants Chelsea. That's his mindset in that as well. But we'll see. Things change very quickly, and we saw it with Caicedo as well. These things can change massively. And a Liverpool report also says that Lavia, the Times have reported that Lavia is believed to be favouring a move to Chelsea, despite some reporters stating otherwise all summer. Tom Roddy writes that Chelsea retain an interest in the 90-year-old midfielder. Both Chelsea and Liverpool have made bids for Lavia rejected. Liverpool have been willing to go to 60 million, but the player is understood to have indicated a desire to move at the bridge. Lavia is close to, obviously, Joe Shields, who was driving force in Southampton, signing him from Man City last summer. So he has a lot of respect for him as well. And it leaves us in a position of where we'll keep you up to speed. I don't think there's anything new, so I'll just quickly check now. I'll just quickly check it now. Should know. Interesting. Secret Scout, who I'll tell you now, I have a lot of time for. He's reported on a lot of Chelsea news in the past and has been very spot on with it, barring the Fabricios and the Ornsteins. He's someone that also reported the Enzo Fernandez deal and got it spot on. He's just came out with something on Lavia, which we're going to come to in a second. Chiku, Caicedo, Enzo is the midfield going forward, is what T1 says. Big up to T1 for the donation on that one as well. Yeah, I saw the Brero news, but I'm not really paying too much attention to it because I don't see that happening one bit, especially with the lack of strikers we have. So, Nizar Caicedo says Chelsea still pole position for Lavia despite Liverpool's attempts today. That was 19 minutes ago. So, Nizar Caicedo is very confident that it's still with us. But then Secret Scout also came out and said, should know more in the next 48 hours. Management of which current Chelsea midfielders exits via loan being discussed. So, management of which current Chelsea midfielders exits via loan/permanents being discussed. So, we are planning at the moment in the backgrounds, by the sounds of it, of offloading individuals in midfield. Conor Gallagher, who people have wanted to be sold for a while, could potentially be one of them. He did perform well yesterday, don't get me wrong, but will Poch want to lose him? Santos, we've only just bought across, we're not going to get rid of. Carney, could we end up potentially sending him on loan? Could that happen? I don't know. So, what midfielders are there that we could potentially loan up or send on a permanent? It's only really Conor Gallagher, right? That's the one we'll get the most value for in selling. So I just don't know. People were looking at the Caicedo's following all the Chelsea players on Instagram. We're going to Caicedo next, actually. But I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't know what midfielders would leave. Who would go? Sad day for Kepa. Well, he's only on loan, mate. He's only on loan. He'll be back in the summer. Do we really want Lavia? I do. If we want him, then we have to let Gallagher go, in my opinion. Can't keep Gallagher and have Lavia. It makes no sense. 4-3-3 makes a lot of sense. That's what we would do with him. That's what we would do with him if we had to do it. But I'm at to Madrid on loan. Here we go. Well, he would do, wouldn't he? I think he would. That's the thing. I think Spurs are very interested in him as well. Newcastle or another club have kept an eye out on him. What would we get for Conor Gallagher if we sold him? Probably about 40 million. F Kepa. So let's see what happens, guys. Let's keep an eye on that. But that's the news around that. Right, to the main topic before we get into the game yesterday. Moises Caicedo is a blue, guys. Smash the likes for Moises Caicedo now. That's what I want to see. How many likes can we get? How happy are you for Moises Caicedo? That's the question. We need even over 100 likes for 300 people on Chelsea Fans TV. Get this up, guys. Likes. It's Caicedo Day, guys. Get the likes up. I want to see the energy. The energy going through the thumbs right now. Everyone smash the thumbs. Smash the hell out the thumbs for Caicedo. Smash it. And GNA TV. Get the likes up, guys. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Smash the thumbs. Smash them thumbs. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Keep going. Because Caicedo has been confirmed yesterday by Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Agreement reached and sealed right now. It's going to be a British record transfer fee of 150 million. A fee plus sell-on clause. Now, yes, it benefits Brighton quite a lot with the sell-on clause. They're going to make a bit out of that. And obviously, they've got 115 million when originally they wanted 100. They've got another 15 million out of this deal. Medical test booked. Caicedo will sign until 2031. And it's with an option until 32. So that's an 8-year contract. A lot of rival fans crying about how Chelsea are even doing this for him. How they even managed to do an 8-year contract. We're going to talk about that specifically very soon, actually, because it's quite interesting. And you can use this info that we've got two rivals that are very uneducated, that need to understand what Chelsea have done in this situation and educate them. Educate them. Guys, keep sharing as well if you can. But he is a blue, guys. Here we go. It's great news. What a signing. Now, did we overpay for him? Of course we did. Did we overpay for him? Did we overpay for Enzo Fernandez? Of course we did. But guess what? And I keep saying it. Price, value of individual players signed by football clubs are ignored when they perform on the pitch. And when you look at someone, I'm going to use him as an example, like Enzo Fernandez and what he was doing yesterday in his actual current role, where he was played further forward, he was dictating play, dominating midfield. Literally, he was just immense. We're going to talk about it a bit later. No one talks about it. Actually, people say we should have spent more. That's how good he was. And this is the effect that Moises Caicedo could have at Chelsea also. With the ability that he already has, with the Premier League knowing, the box-to-box, good with the ball, breaking up play, direct, energetic, wins the ball high up. You know, some people saying he's a replacement for N'Golo Kante. Obviously, that's a big statement. Don't get me wrong. But he has got that way about him. He has got that Ramirez, Kante. And I'll be honest with you, what he reminds me more than anything, in my opinion, is Michael Essien. Michael Essien is the best example for me of Moises Caicedo and what I've seen of him. The Bison. He was strong. He was box to box. He was good with the ball. He could score goals. Everything to his game was very good. And he was immense before he got that injury. And now Caicedo comes into a team of pure quality. And Brighton have good players, don't get me wrong. We know that, technical, whatever. But he's coming into an experienced team that's going to be challenging with top quality players around him. And he's going to excel. And I'm going to say it. I think Caicedo is going to excel into being a really, really good player. And the reason why is because he's also being matched with a midfielder who has different attributes, but he's also going to be that. It also is at the world-class level. These are players that we have spent a lot of money on, but for the right reasons. And we all know that Caicedo is massive. He's done his medical guys as well. Baby Essien, do you know what I mean? Baby Essien. It's a crazy pivot. It's a crazy pivot for me. It's a massive pivot. 1 second, guys. I'm just seeing what other news I've got coming in. Interesting. We'll come to that in a second. That is quite funny. Which, again, doesn't mean much, does it really? But, you know, it's always worth throwing it in the air once we get to it as well. But so there we go, guys. He's completely part of his medical already. And then people question mark about Caicedo. And obviously, he was our number one. We had to get it done, guys. We had to. And yes, we had to overpay for him. I get that. And obviously, people were going to pick up on it. The most two expensive signings in British football history are partners. In 2023, we signed Enzo Fernandez for 106 million. We've now gone and spent 150 million and broke the British record fee for Caicedo, both under 23 as well. But these are the future. These two are the future of this club. And what we've done here is bring in two players of a specific niche of type of player that they are, put them together hopefully for the long-term success of this football club. And these guys are the future. These two are the future. Keep them fit. They play for me most of the times. Now it's down to Caicedo to continue that form and show and excel and become even better and become the monster that I think he could potentially come. And Enzo Fernandez can continue being that great player that he is. But when you look at the stats, they're so strong, but in the opposites. And that's why I brought this up. Because with Enzo Fernandez, who was on the red of the graph, all of these stats are the opposite, mainly to what Caicedo's are. The chances created by both of them are very close. 2.0, look, very close. Penalty box entries is Enzo Fernandez, a lot more than Caicedo because Caicedo sits more, which is why we've got him in. Final entries as well. And then you get all the way around to the Caicedo element. Ball recoveries, look at Caicedo. A lot more than Enzo. Interceptions made at a higher rate is Caicedo. And these are the little things that cover Enzo. So the best of what, so Enzo's abilities of what he's good at doing, that the best he can concentrate on. And maybe his weaknesses are going to be covered now because we have Caicedo, and Caicedo's strengths are Enzo's weaknesses and vice versa. And that's what makes a great pair. That's what makes a great pair, guys. And that's the most important thing. I wouldn't say big weaknesses. It's just that he's not defensive-minded as Caicedo. And Caicedo's tackles made, if you look at their tackles made, they're both very aggressive. Look, they're both good with the tackles made. That is a very good stat to have in the midfield. Aerial duels, he's won a lot more than Enzo. We know that. And duels won, again, quite high as well. Shots attempted has obviously done more than Caicedo because he's going to be further forward. But it's a good mix is what I'm trying to get at. It's a good mix for me. And it makes a lot of sense as to why we've matched them two together as well. Just a little bit of news in around who Caicedo's followed as well. Well, there you go. Santos, Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Noni. And interestingly enough, Caicedo has followed Lavia. Romeo Lavia. Of recent as well, by the way. So, well, it says follow, but I don't know how that works out. But if he clicks that, then he's following. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Now, let's talk about, obviously, the money side of it. And before we get into the game, we're going to get into the game very shortly as well, because a lot of rivals are calling Chelsea out about how they're doing things, report them to the Premier League, blah, 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 cry. Well, Kieran Maguire, who, if you're not following, go and give him a follow. Give him a follow. He's worth giving him a follow. He came out with a reason against how Chelsea are doing things and why it works, and it makes a lot of sense. He says the contract length given, contract length can be any period, amortization under the UEFA, but not Premier League rules limited to 5 years for this summer. Not an issue for Chelsea as they're not playing in Europe. That makes a lot of sense. Chelsea didn't finish in Europe last season, which means they don't have to follow the UEFA rules, which is of a 5-year limit, which was capped based on what Chelsea did last year, but was looked into and brought down. Now, the Premier League rules are completely different because there's no length to any period of contract under the Premier League rules. He was signed while Chelsea are out of Europe, which means that Chelsea fall under the Premier League rules. Todd Bowley, Egbali, again, have found a loophole. And these crybaby rival fans are going to cry about it because they can't work out why we're doing these things. Listen, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, none of these clubs are being stopped from doing what Chelsea are doing. It's just that Chelsea are doing it in a very clever manner. And yes, we're spending a lot of money. But again, amortization against the long-term contracts, the lengthy contracts, and then the total fee of how much it costs for that player, along with the outgoings, because people forget to talk about outgoings over the last 10 years, which we're going to get next to as well, is actually left Chelsea in a 1-year bracket of being in a £20 million profit. Actually, the £20 million profit. But people go, but they can't because they've spent 115 there and 105 here and 105 there. It's how they've set it up. It's how they've generated it. And against the outgoings to the ingoings in 1 year, I think it was last year. I think it was this year's full last year's. Is it last year's, this year's? I think it might have been this year's full year to year. Chelsea have made apparently around a 20 million profit, which I was reading earlier on as well, which is interesting. Assume it's because when the contract starts, not what happens in the following years. Exactly. So it will fall into that year. specifically, and what also we do in that year as well, and how we subsidize it, set it up, contract it. He then goes on about he then goes on to talk about this, and he goes, all the concentration on Chelsea's is on Chelsea's indoors. So what we bring in, Chelsea's been 800 million, Chelsea's been 700 million, blah 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 blah. But people are ignoring the outdoor, which indicates player sales of 1.2 billion, guys, since 2013, 2014. And when you look at the Chelsea player sales grid here, from 14 all the way to 24, this is worked out on $1 million bracket. So in 14, we sold in outgoings was 96 million, 15, 68. Work it out, 98, 100. And then you work your way up to 1920, more recent. 66 million was sold. 190 million was sold. 31 million was sold in 21. 123 million was sold in 2022. 74 million was sold in 2023. And this so far, in the current season we're doing now, 208 million players have already been sold. We know the names. We know who's gone. But he's trying to make it very clear about how and why Chelsea are maybe potentially doing things in a clever but also in the right way. They are finding loopholes. It is working in our favour. But don't let rival fans tell you that, we're spending too much or we don't know what we're doing now. Yeah, we might be on specific players. But don't let them tell you that forever, that we're not doing things correctly or we're not, blah, blah, blah. This backs it. So outgoings against ingoings, we've spoke about that already. It's interesting stuff as well. 100+ billion, 1.2 billion has been sold since 2014 in outgoings. Obviously, it's a lot. Of course, it's a lot. And they need to know about that. Players' wages must be down from last year. Also, yes, Doggy, they will be. They will be. That falls down to the current market and the niche and the limited players that are available in that. And that is an issue. Yes, I agree. They are. They just can't understand how we are able to do it and they're not. And that's what makes me laugh. In all of this, that's what makes me laugh the most. Right, guys, we are going to talk about the game yesterday. Keep smashing a like, subscribing if you're new as well. We're going to go through some of the player ratings, talk about specific individuals as well. I'm going to put the link in very soon as well. But we just want to quickly talk about specific players' performances yesterday. Now, Caicedo came out and said Enzo Fernandez today showed why they paid what they paid for him. I think he's every penny of it. In fact, I think he's actually worth more than that, especially when you play him in the role that I have been stressing we need to do all last season. And when people said, he's not like, he's crap, he was playing in a DM role. He's playing out of position. And even in that position, he was still by far our best signing from January to now, in my opinion. And again, yesterday, Poch played him absolutely perfect. He allowed him to just play forward and have the freedom role, get involved with the ball. Pretty much every second we went forward, it went through him. Balls out wide were literally on point to Reece James, who again had an amazing game. He got aggressive, he got stuck in. His feet with the ball, he's balanced. The way he drops his shoulder and goes right, goes left. It's just different gravy, guys. He's just absolute different gravy. And that's the real truth about how good he is. He is that good. And putting a Caicedo next to him, it's just going to excel him even more. Because when he hasn't got to worry too much about his defensive responsibilities and worry about give me the ball, or be involved in everything that is intricate about what we do moving forward, it's just amazing. And his energy levels, back and forward, 90 minutes, don't stop running. He arrives in the box with Jackson, probably one of the only players that kept getting himself in the box yesterday, where Jackson was very isolated and still done well, by the way. He was just unbelievable. He is just unbelievable. I'm sorry. He is just unbelievable. He honestly is. He's just going to get better, guys. He's just going to get better. And we just got to keep playing him in the right way. No, I don't. I thought it was a very good goal. In my opinion, the way Salah played it through the middle and then Diaz got on the end of it. Obviously, it was hard and low, getting down. It was just a good goal, guys. Sometimes you just got to look at it and say good goal. I wouldn't even come for Kepa if he was in goal for that. I just thought it was a good goal. No, and he wouldn't have saved that, in my opinion. I don't think so. Yeah, so, what a performance by him as well. We're going to talk a bit more about him soon. But I want to also talk about this guy because he was very isolated yesterday. He was. But there's something that happened yesterday which impressed me massively. Massively. And it was his battle against the guy in this picture, Kanate. Now, this guy is a beast. He's strong. He's athletic. Kanate, I'm talking about. He bullies strikers off the ball with his physicality. Yeah, but when he came up against Nicholas Jackson yesterday, I can't believe how strong he was. He was pushing him off, holding him off. He was outpacing him. He was linking up play strong, even when he was getting pressured by Kanate, who was aggressive. He was giving Van Dijk was staying away from him most of the time. I don't think Van Dijk was interested. Kanate was the one that was, asked to stay with him. But even in training, people were saying that he's just a beast. Technically very good on the ball, quick. That when he picked the ball up at the end and ran one end to the other with the ball, just threw him, and they just couldn't stop him. He had Kanate following him all the way down, not able to touch him, all the way down, and he played Mudryk in. He should have scored yesterday. He had a very good chance when the ball came in, and he should have side-footed that into the top of net. He didn't do that. But what a performance for someone that was very isolated, for someone that didn't really get or wasn't supported as much. Imagine having an Nkunku with him, playing off him, running off him direct. They would have been in trouble. I'm telling you now, if Nkunku was there yesterday with him up front, he would have had a lot more support going forward. And we would have broke them down even more. And we would have made chances. And Nkunku would have buried it. I am telling you now, if Nkunku was on the pitch yesterday, he would have scored, in my opinion. Because he was very good. Wasn't very good. And it was impressive to see Nicholas Jackson against Kanate and do what he did. So imagine when he comes up against other defenders that are a lot slower, maybe not as strong. I'm looking forward to it. But we've got to feed him. We've got to evolve. He does need to put the ball in the back of the net more. He does. He needs to be created more for though as well. And we'll see with West Ham on Sunday how much he's created for up front and the difference with Caicedo in Enzo further forward, the people around him who we have brought in as well. It's going to be a really interesting one to see, and I'm looking forward to it. But the overall game, guys, is an interesting one because, we started off really poor. We ended up playing the back three, which caught everyone by surprise again. Caught me by surprise a lot, not going to lie. We went with Disasi, Silva, and Colwell at the back with James and Chilwell on the wings again. And it was an interesting lineup. It was one that I said is it's been changed against what Liverpool done. I don't see Chelsea use this formation the whole season. I think if we had Caicedo in there, we would have maybe played a back four. If we had Lavia as well, we definitely would have played a back four because we would have had enough in midfield to have contained it going forward because it would have, the legs. We didn't, and we kind of had to play that position. And I read a tweet yesterday before the game. We had to play that system because of the way Liverpool set up. They have no DM, and it was very offensive. All their midfielders were attackers. They had Diaz, they had Salah, and the other guy on as well up front, Jota, and it was very attackive. And I think Poch's looked at that and gone, do you know what? I need to react to that. I need to try and make sure that we don't get caught. How do I do that? Add another defender on the pitch. Disasi came in. We played the back three, even though Poch says it was a back four, which I didn't really see it in game. James and Chilwell supported Gallagher and Enzo more with the midfield because it was a problem, and that's what I think we're trying to do. But also going back as well, which in the first half we struggled to do. There was too many gaps between James, Chilwell and the back, and that's why we got isolated at the beginning, and they created a lot of chances as well. But eventually we got a hold of it. And oh wow, really interesting stuff. Really interesting news, guys, come out from the Secret Scout, which I'm going to get to in a second. But it was a good game. But Disasi scores on his debut. Big Axie, Disasi, big him up debut goal. I thought he struggled at the beginning, but so did Cole. And Cole had a good game, but he stepped up, and that's the difference. He stepped up, and he made the difference in the game. He scored the goals in the right areas. Aerially strong, physically done well, good with the ball at his feet as well. And it was it was actually really interesting to watch, and I was quite impressed by him. He brings a bit of passion. When he scored the goal, he was very like, it was good to see, man. It was really, really good to see. Right, before we go on to like player ratings and whatever else, I want to quickly go on to some news that's just come out from the Secret Scout guys, because this is interesting stuff. I understand Liverpool have inquired about the situation of Tchouaméni and Valverde, as Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia look set to join Chelsea. Real Madrid midfielders are off serious interest to Liverpool. Spanish club likely to make one available. Wow. So Secret Scout has pretty much came and said that he feels Lavia. Obviously, we've got Caicedo, but now Lavia is another one that is set to join Chelsea. And like I said, Secret Scout is not no play when it comes to reporting. He's not no muck around. I keep telling people this. This is the guy that told us about Enzo, or predicted about the Enzo scenario, and got it spot on all the way through. He was very solid with his link, with his with his sources. But do you know what? Before we go back to the game, we're stuck on this, and that's interesting stuff from the Secret Scout. We'll wait to see if we get Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein coming out with a bit more on this. Let's talk to Couch quickly. Couch, Caicedo's done. Lavia is up in the air, but now it looks more like Chelsea's still somehow managing to get it. Managed maybe to persuade him to join us. It's the same situation as Caicedo, where I think Lavia's having to make the decision on who. But Secret Scout's just come out with this, saying that they're looking elsewhere already, because if they feel that maybe that Lavia is also going to be willing or willing to join Chelsea, maybe just do with Joe Shields or whatever. But we know how much you love him and how important he is to us. And me and you both wanted him for quite a while. But what's your thoughts on the news that Lavia is potentially close to joining Chelsea, mate?
I mean, I don't want to get over the moon over something that's not done officially, but you already know how I feel about this kid. I just think that he's got the lot. His technical ability in the midfield is something that we're going to use and we need. And just overall, like at the age of 19, I know that everyone's talking about Caicedo, and I'm excited about Caicedo as well.
Yeah.
Especially with the amortization of the deal being confirmed that we could still pay, paid over the course of 8 years.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That is an unbelievable bit of a business there. But I think that in 2 years, like Lavia is 19 right now. In 2 years' time, under the tutelage of Poch, imagine what kind of progression you're going to see from this guy. I don't think that people realize. I think they're judging him based on other midfielders in the Premier League right now who are, 2-3 years above him. And at 19, this guy is already turning the heads of the biggest clubs in the Premier League right now. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. If we can get it over the line, let's do it. If it's 60 million, not really quite feeling that, but I think Don was the one that said it best when he said it's about the project. It's not always about the money. It's about the project. The project at Chelsea right now is more attractive to that of the Liverpool's. And I think that will win out in the end.
100%. And you know what? I think what Lavia gives us is the option. And I said this, if we had Lavia and Caicedo yesterday, we'd have played a 4-3-3. And the reason we didn't do that yesterday was because, and I kept saying it, is because we didn't have the midfield. And I think the numbers, what we tried to do was try and fill the numbers in the midfield to protect, even though the game didn't show that with Conor Gallagher being a lot alone. But I think the idea was to try and flood that a little bit and provide a bit more support to that. But if you have Lavia and Caicedo together in the midfield, I'm sorry, that is disgusting. And when it comes to
it's crazy
power, technical ability, breaking the play, interceptions, he would just sit Lavia and protect the defence, and Caicedo would just be running around doing what he does best, just intercepting left, right, and centre and winning balls further up the pitch. And it would release him more because he wouldn't have to be the only defensive player in the game. He could then maybe venture around, and Enzo would just be doing what Enzo does. It's just crazy even thinking about it, to be honest. I should
say this though, because I feel like we're gonna slander this guy because we want him out of the club. But I thought Conor Gallagher played well yesterday.
Second half, man.
The second half specifically, yeah. The left side in the first half was poor, but yeah, without question, like some of his defensive work in the second half, his interceptions and whatnot was exceptional. So just got to give him his props where it's due. It's not something I think that we could expect to see, consistently from him. But let's just be real. He was good yesterday. Good energy all over the pitch.
Yeah. What are you saying, Hassan? What are you saying about this Lavia thing? Are you excited for it? Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think there's a good chance Liverpool may still get this?
I mean, unless there's another unexpected bid from Liverpool or something like that, I expect this deal to get over the line. And it's just it's a good feeling now because we've been crying out for midfield signings for over the years. And now we're like overly, in a way, I wouldn't say overly spoiled because I think that's a wrong terminology to use, but I think we are getting it quite stuck to there, and we are preparing for the future. And I'm just glad that we're setting to sign both. I think all three signings, including the previous ones, are going to be a balanced midfield with Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia. I think that's quite balanced in a way. And it's just good, man. It's just good that we are stocking on these exciting talents.
Yeah.
What Coach was saying earlier about him being compared to others, I just think that is, I just see that as a good thing, the fact that he is compared to the older age brackets. It just shows how good he is in his current ceiling and his current level. Under 21s, let's be honest, I can't really name a few that would be better than him in this current position. And
yeah.
It is what it is. It doesn't matter about the prices anymore for me. I think we're gonna have to address that pricing issue probably for the future transfers. But for now, it's just getting the main targets over the line and getting this window done and strengthening us.
People don't talk about price tags when they play like Enzo has. People are not talking about it. Rival are actually saying that they would have paid more.
No, they'll only talk about it when it's bad.
Exactly. And I just think Caicedo complements him massively, and I think that's going to be a really good partnership in my opinion. And if you add Lavia in it as well, it just gives you even more options.
If we add Caicedo, right, Enzo gets to play in his proper position there. Exactly. And then we're going to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez.
It looks like Poch wants to do that anyway with Enzo because of the way he was letting him go forward and not really. And I know he was getting back as well, but he's just so far forward and instrumental.
I wanted to talk. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to save it because I got to put it in my video anyways. But there's a tactical thing that we got to talk about.
What, Enzo? Talking about?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about him anyway. It's got to be done. So we'll have that conversation. But quickly, Winter Surfer, what's your thoughts? Obviously, Caicedo is a blue, finally. Lavia is another one. It looks like Chelsea might even do him on that as well. I mean, what's your thoughts on how we're moving?
So everyone knows Darko, right?
Yeah.
So I was just in a space with him. We all know he's got links. He's pretty certain Chelsea are just doing the payment structure now of Southampton. That's all it is. So he's thinking it's there. That's why you're seeing this report right in front of you right now. That's why the Liverpool journalists have only discussed the bid, nothing about medical being booked or anything like that. That's why even our journalists have gone. We haven't really done anything else apart from the fact that he wants to still join us. That's it. What Liverpool did, and credit to whoever you want to credit to, whether was it a coincidence Eden Hazard was there at the game yesterday? Maybe. Maybe not. But we all know he might have been Joe Shields as well. People forget, right? This is not on the fly for Lavia. We bid 50 million for him when he joined Southampton last year.
Facts.
We bid 50 million for him. So this is a long-standing. What happened is that we thought Liverpool were going to get him, but they dicked around with 3 bids that were way over. And our second bid went over the 50 million that Southampton wanted. So this is not even about matching a bid. Southampton accepted 2 bids. They accepted 2 bids over what they wanted, right? They wanted 50 million, they accepted 2 bids, and they're letting the player decide. And apparently his preference is us. Because we probably told him it's nothing about being first or second choice. You're just our choice. That's what it is. It's not about and way Liverpool have done it, they literally put in 3 bids, say, oh my God, we can get Caicedo, see you later, Lavia, and left him in the dirt. Like that. So you cannot have anything else. And if we get both of them and Enzo, and you got Santos, barring, of course, any injuries and anything like that, that we don't have to spend on midfield for a number of years.
Yeah, we're set there. Right? That's a set. Think about
it also allows us to go from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 as well. It allows us to do that. And it also allows Andre Santos to get the proper development and not have all this pressure put on him in his first season at a big club as well. And
I was shouting that from time.
It had to be. We were all sensible Chelsea fans recognised that Caicedo, even if we got him, we still needed another midfielder. We still need, and as good as Gallagher did in the second half yesterday, I need someone I just need someone else. Do you know what I mean? I just need someone else. He did very well yesterday, but I think Lavia is better than Gallagher.
It's not his position. Right, it's not his position.
Yeah, it's not Gallagher's position either, and it's not fair. But I'm like I say, Darko's pretty sure, and he's the only one really I follow. If you want to call him an ITK, but the only one I really follow. He only really sticks his neck out when it's pretty sure. So he's thinking that it's only really the payment structure that we are discussing with Southampton. They want a big up front like Brighton did. So they want a big up front because obviously Man City get percentage as well of this deal. You've got to remember. So, but no, it seems to be that whether it will get announced today, I don't know. Some people said it was like the next 48 hours or something like that. But it's good. And then you roll in at least say potential another striker and another goalkeeper. We then, although it's the first year, you have to say expectations then have to change a bit. They have to rise.
I think they change now. I think it changes now.
I think though,
I think the goalkeeper we have to get.
No, hang on. If we were to get like Elise and something like that, another striker, then I expect a minimum of top 4 and a trophy.
You look at that midfield. You look at the amount of money spent in that midfield.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Top 4 is a bare fucking.
That's what I said. Minimum of top 4 and a trophy. I want us to go full. I want us to go full force in both cups. That's what I want us to do. Full force. Yeah. There should be no excuse for us not to focus on the cups this year. We're not in Europe. I want to wrap that League Cup up right away. Wrap it up. It's get this group winning trophies as quickly as possible. Get them winning trophies so they get the taste of it. This is not a time to dilly down.
The best part is, I was going to say, right, the best part is that most teams don't care about the League Cup. So if we take it seriously, that's the first trophy in the bag.
Well, I mean, they don't care about it until they're in the semis. So,
yeah,
you just gotta let it play out. But
yeah, 100%. I think it's interesting. Let's see what happens in the next 48 hours on Lavia. I mean, Don, I want to go to the game, but let's just quickly tie up with what we think on this. I mean, Don, you got a lot of stick with the Caicedo thing, as we know. How do you feel? How do you feel now he's a blue? And what are your thoughts on the Lavia thing as well? Because we are moving mad, don't we?
Yeah. Listen, I was always confident about Caicedo because I've been following that transfer from the beginning. Like when it was first reported by Fabrizio, it was clear that he was our main target. And obviously, with how he moved with Enzo Fernandez and Mudryk, I was quite confident that our ownership would move aggressive with Caicedo and make sure they get it done because they made it clear that this is our main target. Obviously, it took too long to get it done, but I was always quite confident that that would happen, Jem. But when that bid went in from Liverpool, remember I called you, Jem, and I literally said, Jem, this is a big fee. Like, I'm surprised. Even I was thinking, shit, like, I don't know if we're going to actually come back from this. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we obviously bounced back. Eghbali came in, took over the negotiations and said, there's no way. Shout out Eghbali, man. Shout out Eghbali, man. He said, listen, move out the way. They're not going to outmuscle us. Do you get it? So he sorted that out. I'm gassed about Caicedo, man. This guy's going to elevate our team. He's going to completely transform our team. When I was making predictions the other day on the terrace, I said Liverpool are gonna challenge now. When that happened with Caicedo, I said they're gonna challenge. And when I was looking at Lavia by himself, I was thinking, yeah, we're at least 2 seasons behind now. I'll be honest with you. I was looking at probably 5th, maybe even 6th. I didn't have that confidence as confident as I am now. But with Lavia, everyone knows how much I rate the guy. I'm gonna be honest. I was saying it like Santos should get the opportunity. If we bring in Tyler Adams, do you know what I mean? I didn't see us bringing in Tyler Adams, Caicedo, and Lavia because there's just not enough games to go around. But the fact of the matter is, Adams ain't coming no more. So I'm more than happy with Lavia coming in. Do Do you know what I mean? It can mean that Santos can play a bit further up. Lavia can also play further up. He can play as a 6, is a little bit more versatile. To be fair, they're both quite versatile, to be honest. So I don't mind them, both being there. I think they'll still get enough game time, to be honest, especially with Nkuku being injured as well. But yeah, man, it's looking good right now. It's looking good. I kept saying to people, listen, just wait in terms of predictions. Let's see what we do, towards the end of the window. And now rivals are panicking. They're scrambling all over the place. They're starting the whole FFP stuff. You can just see the salt.
Don, have you noticed, and the rest of the guys, you noticed? Have you noticed how relaxed the fan base is a bit now with the transfer window of Caicedo was signed? Have you noticed that? Just a little bit. The pressure's gone. It's like now everything else is just a bonus.
I don't even know if it's that. You might feel that way,
I think it's just relief. It's done.
There's a relief, but let's keep in mind, everyone was crying about how long it took and stuff like that. I've been saying the entire summer that a deal of this magnitude is going to take longer than you think. It's not going to be a 1 week, 2 week, bam, bam, done. And now we're into the latter stages of the summer, and everyone's all pissy and nervous about it. Like, oh my God, are we going to get this done? What's happening here? I would agree. I feel like the calmness. I feel like the calmness now is because it's not just Caicedo at this point. It's Caicedo and Lavia. And
yeah, exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because if you think of that dynamic, having Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo Fernandez in that midfield, listen, I said it yesterday on Never a Foul. I'm gonna say it again. That's one of the best midfields in Europe. Yeah, on paper right now, that's one of the best midfields in Europe. You get it? And when you look at the depth, you've got Carney there, you've got Andre Santos there. Leslie, if we end up keeping him, if he doesn't go on loan, that's another one. Gallagher, I reckon he'll probably get sold. Listen, hats off to Gallagher, because in the first half, I was slandering him. I didn't want him to start the game. You guys know my thoughts on him. Yeah. He had a really good second half, but my thoughts on Gallagher is over a long period of time, you just can't depend on him. Do you know what I mean? You can't depend on the guy. So I'd rather we just move him on. And he comes straight from the academy. That's straight profit on the books. You get it? So
it's just my thing. It's like, yeah, everyone's still out to get Lavia, but I just think that everyone's been so focused on Caicedo that they were really focused on other transfers getting in before Caicedo, over scrutinizing. Now it's like, oh yeah, well we'll go get a striker, we'll go get a goalkeeper, Lavia, stuff like that.
I don't think anyone expected Caicedo to just be the only one though. That's the thing. I get what you're trying to say, Andrew, but we're not done.
I've told you this multiple times. You and I both know Caicedo was the only true target this summer, right?
Main target.
The rest were just opportunities, right? At the time, this is the one they were working on. This is the one they wanted. If it was on a list, it's underlined, laminated in bold, whatever you want to say, right? The rest may be question marks beside it. But the fact I truly believe they thought Lavia was going to Liverpool, right? They were. That's why we weren't linked to right at late. But when Southampton turned down the third bid from Liverpool, not the second, the third bid from Liverpool, yeah, when they only increased it by about what 750 grand or something like that, some measly thing like that. Then it's like we put in under 50 million to test the waters, and then we put over 50 million, and then you know what? Big up Joe Shields, man. Big up Joe Shields.
But this is the thing, though, Andrew. I was saying this the other day, yeah. Bro, I was saying this the other day, yeah. I don't, Couch. If you remember, I was saying in the group chat the other day to forward, because remember what's that guy, Felix? Obviously, Felix, he's got his sources at the club, yeah, and especially with the young players, he's got a lot of sources. But when he put that thing out about Chelsea trying to force Liverpool's hand to pull out the deal, I wasn't looking at it like that, because number one, with Caicedo, yeah, he made it clear to Liverpool that he only wants Chelsea. All we had to do was slap the money down. So it didn't really matter if Liverpool took away their bid or whatever. We had to slap the money down. That was the main thing that was stopping us from getting that deal getting done. And like I said, the long-standing interest with Lavia. It's not like we weren't linked to Lavia at all, and then we've just come in last minute. Then I would be like, okay, I'm not too sure. It's the fact that we've wanted this guy for over a year now. Do you get it? And even after Caicedo, and when there was a few links with Lavia, because Fabrizio mentioned a few times that Chelsea are still, in touch with the situation, but they're not moving for him as it stands right now. So we've always been reviewing it, and we've always been in the background. So when I was seeing the thing about, Chelsea are just doing this to force Liverpool's hand, I said, nah, man, this is more than that. This is serious interest. I was saying it. No, I knew it was going to be serious interest.
I agreed as well. I don't think that you look at Lavia from last summer and then just forget about him based on his play this year. That goes without saying. But what I think everyone was worried about was because the ask for Caicedo at that point was so high. It was whether or not they were going to be able to address that and then also address Lavia as well. And the thing that has made this all the difference in the world right now is this little loophole because we're not in Europe. This 5-year amortization is a huge,
crazy
huge bit of information
different
that changes the landscape of every deal that we do now. Every one of them.
It also goes with the
Coach, it's 5 years for the. Sorry about that, Jim. It's 5 years for the UEFA side. It's out of UEFA, so it's a lot more.
No, so basically,
we should probably bring that up. Yeah, Jem, we should probably bring that up if you have a link to it.
But I did say.
Oh, you did bring. Okay, cool.
The rules for UEFA is 5 years, but because Chelsea didn't enter Europe last year, they followed the Premier League rules when it comes to transfer. So there's no limit to a contract under the Premier League rules.
So the deals will stand even if we qualify for Europe next year. The deals stand.
Yeah, they will stand. But
there's also grandfathered at that point.
You know, everyone's so focused with Chelsea on the income. So, right, we spent 800 million, whatever. But I also brought up a graph from Kieran again. He was talking about the outgoings as well since 14 up to now. And we've done over 1.2 billion of outgoing sales as well involved in it. So it was quite a lot. Don't get me wrong. All right, we've signed probably more than what we sold, but still, people they ignore the outgoings more than they do, and they see people coming in, and it's worth obviously talking about as well. But Matt, I want to go to the game in a second. But Matt, let's quickly get your thoughts on Lavia and Caicedo.
Man, big times. I was 2 days ago. I was like, oh, it was done. You know, giving out. I'm like, there's no way we're gonna put a second bid in. But then I forgot. I was saying this to you, Jem, and before. Like, I forgot that we're the big bros. I forgot we're the big boys. And we don't back down. We never give up. We never back down, and we keep going. And it's actually crazy to me that we actually spend that massive money for him. And I think he's going to come in and he's going to do absolutely amazing. And for me, he needs to come in and do absolutely amazing. This guy needs to come in tomorrow and perform. I'm sorry, a lot of pressure on this guy, but he needs to come in and start performing. And I think he will. I think he will definitely have that. Lavia, 60 mil. It is a lot of money, but if he performs, no one's going to talk about that money. Is it a need? Yes, I would definitely take Lavia. But that mean Kudos still comes. I hope in Kudos, or at least there's another one who still comes, and I think we definitely need to keep it still. So, man, you can say we're selfish or what here, but man, we still need a couple more players to come in. So let's see what happens. But I think Lavia is done as well.
And on top of all of this, we ain't even finished because we're not even really spoke about Elise, who's looking like it could happen with 45 million bid. Personal terms apparently agreed as well as what we're told today. That could happen. Potential strikers, maybe. I think we do need one, in my opinion. I think playing Jackson on his own is throughout the whole season is another story. But again, it's the availability. Who can we go for and things like that, which is maybe more of the issue when it comes to that. But going back to the game yesterday, guys, obviously it was our first game of the season. It was a big one against Liverpool. They set up very offensive because obviously they're missing a DM as well. McAllister was asked to play in a DM role, and it pretty much showed in that game why you don't play him there. Very wasted. A bit like what we was doing with Enzo, watching him being played there. It just wasn't the right role for him. But I want to pick out specifically certain individuals that played yesterday rather than go through every single player. Now we'll start with the goalie, Sanchez, because obviously Kepa's been confirmed today that he's gone on loan to Real Madrid. Sanchez is now the number one for now. There's talks about us looking at another goalie coming in because we're going to obviously want competition, whether it's going to be a number one or if it's going to be someone that can just compete for the one space with him is yet to be seen. Who wants to talk? Let's go to Matt. Let's go to Matt on this one because obviously he's a big Kepa lover. I just want to hear what he's got. I just want to hear what he's got to say about.
You call him a Kepa lover.
Yeah,
support family, man. I support family. Mashallah, support family. My brother Kepa. Support him.
Go on, tell me.
No, I think I said this last week. I said this today. Robert Sanchez is a bang average keeper. We saw that yesterday. He did some, amazing. Well, almost amazing. He did his job. He did some good saves. But then he also couldn't pass the ball 2 meters. I think you look at his height, 6'6", 6'5". It's great. He comes out of the box. He collects it. It's great. But this guy's a bang average keeper. I'm not going to expect a lot from him. What I saw yesterday, a mix of weaknesses, a mix of strength. That's what you're going to get from him. We should definitely not assault Kepa, but Kepa, you can't turn down Real Madrid. That's the best club in the world. So he actually improved. The Madrid fans love him. Let him go there. That's fine. But you need to get someone in. And I think, if you get Caicedo, which is done deal, the secondary priority is to get a keeper because you cannot go Sanchez for the whole season. Selena's gone. You've got fucking Bettinelli there, bro. Bettinelli can't even catch a ball, let alone sit on the bench, right? This guy's not playing.
I mean,
Robert Sanchez cannot last season, and we've seen that, Jim, for most of this game. And I mean, maybe it's first game. Maybe prove me wrong, Jim. Maybe you can prove me wrong.
Game, yeah.
I hope you
Yeah,
don't.
I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, no.
I'll prove
I hope.
you wrong.
All right,
I'll
Andrew, we'll
prove
see,
you
man.
wrong
We'll
right
see if he
now.
proves
I'll
me
prove you
wrong,
right
Andrew.
now. All you just said was a big load of bollocks. What you just said, okay? That one mistake.
Did we watch the same game, Jim?
One mistake, that was the kick.
Andrew?
And didn't get punished. Otherwise than that, it was a good performance from him.
And that
Yeah, I said it's
and that
I said
came down to
No,
Andrew, I said it's a bang.
let me finish.
hang
I
on.
didn't know to you.
Oh, go.
He
Sorry,
passed-
go on.
He did pass the ball out. He passed the ball out fine, apart from that one kick. That was all. He is a bang. You say he's a bang average goalkeeper. That means he's 50 times better than Kepa in my eyes already. By the way, you want to criticize
Andrew, I think you
him,
need new
you wanna
glasses, man.
criticize him. You want to criticize him after one game, but didn't let us criticize Kepa after 4 bloody years. You know, it just.
I just said the end.
But let me
Andrew
just
was
say this
saying
right
that
now.
he
If
can
the
prove
number,
me wrong after one
I'm
game.
not tied to Robert Sanchez as the number 1 goalkeeper, by the way, so I want to put that out there. If another goalkeeper that's better, if we go for another goalkeeper that's better, because I'm seeing links at what's his name, Mashavelli?
Yeah, the guy from Valencia.
I don't know. I've never watched him, so I have no idea if he's better than Sanchez or anything. I don't know. But listen, if another opportunity comes out there and the goalkeeper is better, I'm fine with that. We do need another goalkeeper nonetheless. Bettinelli's injured. No, he wasn't even on the bench yesterday. He is injured. And you're looking at was it Bergstrom?
Bergstrom.
Bergstrom.
The guy-
I don't know who Bergstrom is. I don't know who that Cummings guy is. He played against Wrexham or something like that. But listen, I will have a go at him. That was a poor kick out, and he should have been punished by Nunes. And
But he also
this.
did something very good, and it actually really brought me back to Courtois and check days when he came out for that corner and just caught it like it was mad, like the way he caught that ball.
That just means that's not no. Because I'll tell you why. This is why I won't have that, because we did the same for Mendy when he caught it just because Kepa didn't catch it for years. That's what a goalkeeper should do. That's what a goalkeeper should do. I do expect that, but I don't think if people are trying to blame him for the goal, for Christ's sake.
Nah, that was a good goal, man.
Yeah,
That
but
was
Andrew, you can't just say, oh, that's what I expect my keeper to do, because we had a keeper that wasn't doing that, bro.
Exactly.
So of course, if our keeper's able to collect the ball, we're gonna big it up, because our keeper could not control his area.
Okay, that's fine, but that just goes to say what we've been dealing with for the past 5 years, essentially, in goal. Whether it's been Mendy after
showing authority.
And then Kepa.
That means that our standards are down there, Don.
That's what I mean.
That's what I meant.
That's what I mean. We should be like.
Yeah, but the thing is though, there's a difference between coming here saying, "Oh, you see how he grabbed the ball," and overrating it. There's a difference between that and literally just saying he was commanding in his area, he was good. He was good at grabbing the ball.
My more on the point is that apart from that, I'm going to say apart from that kick, but it really could have cost us. But if you take that out, and obviously it's a big thing, it was the performance I expect from a goalkeeper. That's what I expect.
I'm just going to say this. The error, just quickly,
medical dumb.
Winter, just quickly.
Done,
All I got to say is
that's done, guys. By the sounds of it, Ornstein Bomber there just telling us that it's all. We just signed the contract.
We actually beat the Ornstein Bomber. You know, we beat it.
So I'm just going to say this on Sanchez. The clear out is about communication. Enzo went one way, he went the other, and that just comes down to the fact that they haven't practiced a lot. There hasn't been a lot of training on the pitch. Once that communication is second nature, you're not going to see things like that.
We were just fortunate that we didn't get punished, because it would have been, no matter what we say about whose fault it was, the primary everyone would have gone against Sanchez first, because he's the one who kicked it, right? That's what it always would have gone to. And then we would examine it after, stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that to say from that performance he's some type of bang average goalkeeper, when I think he's been really misprofiled in his time at Brighton. His main reason he didn't start last year was he fell up with De Zerbi, and De Zerbi fell on his ass because Steele actually is a good goalkeeper. He was never going to drop him again. Is he the best goalkeeper? No, but he's 25, and I'm going to give any new goalkeeper more than one game than having freaking Kepa for 4 years, who's assaulted my vision. So you know what I mean?
Well, that allows us to move on quickly, because I want to get through some players. Let's go to Don on this one. Axel Disasi gets the goal on his debut as well. A little bit shaky at the beginning, but sort of grew in it as well. I think, to be honest, I thought even Colwill, they were left very isolated in the first 30 minutes, and it was hard.
I was literally just about to say that. Yeah, I think our backline was looking a little bit shaky at the beginning. Even Reece, his touch was off at the beginning. I was thinking, oh, come on, not this again. Do you know what I mean? But I think they all grew into the game. Disasi on the ball, man. This is what I was seeing in the clips, and I was seeing it yesterday.
Ooh.
Comfortable on the ball, really physical. You know, he looked good in the area as well. Like the movement in the box to actually get on the end of that was good. Yeah, he's a pause. He's a big lad. Pause. But yeah, man, I was I was impressed. I was impressed with his debut. I can't lie. And everyone I was saying, this guy's like, you know, is like what they're calling him Maguire. They're calling the French Maguire. He didn't look slow to me. He did not look slow to me, bro. I can't even lie. Like on the eye, he did not look slow at all. But yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with his debut, to be honest. He played well. He started off a bit shaky, like you said, Jem, but yeah, I think it was quite good yesterday, to be honest.
Caps,
Yeah.
what do you think, mate? What do you think? Very
similar to Don.
It'd be quite interesting to know your thoughts on it.
There's some big news coming up, it looks like, but let me just quickly pivot to this
I'll
thing.
put it in the group. I'll put it in the group chat.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna echo what Don said. I thought that as a debut, like first match in the Premier League against a team like Liverpool that challenged the back line like most teams can't. I thought he had a fantastic game, and everything was on display. His physicality, his aerial presence. There's a couple times that he rose defending corners, and he was the first person there. The second, I think there was another attempt off a set piece where he got his head on it and it almost went back post to Colwell. Like, he's going to be a threat for us in both boxes, I think.
Goddamn beast. That's what he is. He's a beast.
He is, and like there's a switch. There's a switch that there's so many like moves that we had in that game that I'm going to analyze in my video, but like there's a switch that we're playing up the right, and he switched it out to the left.
Chilwell. Yeah, I saw that.
Wow. And it just caught him right in stride too.
Was that him?
What a ball!
Yeah, mate, with a long ball over the top.
It was like this is the requirements for our center backs right now. You have to be able to make those passes. You have to be able to be, you know.
Couch, did you see a report though? Poch said that because of the midfield height issues, right, that he wanted another big, tall centre back, and that's one of the reasons we got Disasi.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of height issues, that even Lavia's obviously taller, but if we start with Enzo and Caicedo, guys, don't expect them to win many headers. They'll try, but you know what I mean. They might not be the best at winning. That's why he wanted a big. That's fair. I'm fine with this. He's a big unit. You know what I mean? He's a powerhouse unit, and that's what we've needed. We needed another powerhouse unit. So.
And he's also, the thing that I like about this guy, he gets fired up too, man. Like after he scored the goal, you see how pumped he was, and then I think about 5 minutes later, 5 minutes later, he went in and got one attack, and he was just pumped.
That was his first.
Listen, one thing I'll say, is that when it comes to French black players, especially, bro, they've got a love for Chelsea, bro. You know what I mean? You've got Kante, Makelele, you got players like Malouda. They grew up watching these guys, or they've grown up knowing about them at Chelsea. They love it, bro. In Nkunku, I don't know you won't. In Nkunku now, but I'm telling you.
I'll just tell you something now. If we had Nkunku yesterday, we'd have won that game. I'm telling you now. He would have.
I was saying this morning, Jem. I agree. I was saying this morning. If we had Nkunku for that link-up play to play up Jackson, I think we would have at least got another goal.
I just said.
It's just a shame, man.
I think a great thing about Disasi that I saw yesterday was all of that, good with the ball at his feet and whatever, read the game quite well. He did get caught out of position sometimes, don't get me wrong. I think they all did at the back at the beginning. But he has got that passion. He looks like even when I was watching him, he was very like shouting around next to us, and I like that. You know, he was like, yeah, no, you, come here. I was watching him. He just looked very like, and you could see that he has been a leader because he has been captain at Monaco.
Exactly that.
He's not that young. He has that experience. He's 25. He's not that young.
Exactly. Jem made that point last time about him being a captain at Monaco. I didn't even know, but I could clearly see the leadership traits yesterday. I could see it.
Jem, Pi's got another account, right? Pi's got another account.
Yeah.
Pi's got another account, right? Is it Max is London's first? So he's tweeted. One source already tells me we've upped the bid, but trying to verify it more. That's what he said. That's what he tweeted out on his other chat.
Let me have a look.
I put it in the group chat anyway. So
they believe West Ham made a new inquiry for Conor Gallagher 2-3 days ago. They believe that Chelsea now need to sell due to huge spending and want to pay 35 million for him, but nothing has happened.
Just take it. Just take it.
We turned down 40, though, didn't we? We turned down 40, though, didn't we?
Yeah, we turned down 40 from Everton, didn't we?
We got a little bit of news on, I say news, but secret scout. This is getting interesting, guys, because I saw what the Surface just put in now as well, but there's also another one. We put the one that Surface just put out earlier. This is from Darko, guys. He's confident. He's confident. This is getting done. You know,
I don't blame him. I agree.
And then the one person that I actually have a lot of respect for when it comes to this kind of stuff is Secret Scout, and even he has just gone and done it 7 minutes ago.
He's been doing well this summer, actually.
And he's put the Belgian sign soon as well. So I think something's going on here, guys. I'm not joking.
Do you know what's so funny though, Jim? Do you know what's so
okay.
funny? Yeah, Liverpool have literally muddied themselves. All they had to do was just stick to their main target, and we would have just got Caicedo when we got Caicedo. But no, if you wanted to awake the beasts in Egbali and Todd Bowley, and I'm hearing that Todd Bowley's done this with John Henry, whatever it is, in America.
Around in America in baseball. He slapped him around.
Yeah.
He's done it again. He's done it in 2 continents. And he
I don't know if you guys saw the clip. I don't know if you guys saw the clip when they panned to him at Stamford Bridge yesterday. John Henry, and he was looking stressed.
Yeah, the pan to both owners yesterday.
But over there, they've got a wage cap as well. Over here, they've got limit. They haven't got that much limit.
I do think though, like the whole thing of like Lavia coming in, and it's looking like from certain people, not had the Fabrizio or Ornstein yet or anything on it yet, but you know, if we do get him, you have to get rid of a midfielder. And the only one that's available that goes in this, in my opinion, with value is Conor Gallagher. There ain't who else?
Gallagher.
You ain't leaving Thanos. You ain't selling Carney. What are you doing? Who's going?
I mean, if Poch really wants Gallagher, you have to loan Chukwuemeka.
Why do you got to sell though at this point?
Well, what do you want to do with them?
They're not going to keep Gallagher when you've got Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, and Santos. So
we're getting congested in there, and like I said, it's straight profit on the books because he's coming out from the academy. That's straight profit.
Well, I still think there's a loan to be had there
for Gallagher.
For who? Gallagher.
Okay. Well, not Gallagher. Leslie's probably going on loan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Carney's probably going to stay. Carney's not going to get loaned. I don't think Carney's going to get loaned. There's no way.
I'm not sure about that if Olise comes in, but yeah, I don't know.
Olise is going to play on the right most likely. I don't think it's going to go down the middle.
Inside though, right? So it's just about like availability for positions, right?
We'll go to our midfielders, Jim. If you want to have a look at our midfield,
but wait, Couch, if we bring in Lavia,
yeah?
If we bring in Lavia, Couch, we're most likely going to go to a 4-3-3 until Nkuku's back. So that means that if Carney comes in, he's going to go into midfield. Olise, if he comes in, is probably going to play on the right because he's not going to play in a midfield three, playing in a 4-3-3. He's not going to do that.
Let's save all this, guys, for the actual Lavia. If we do get him, the Lavia show, because we're going to have a Lavia show anyway, and then we can start talking about these things anyway. I'm just going to put his face up, and I'm just going to say who wants to talk. Because if I talk, you know what's going to happen. There's no point in me even talking
this
about
is your show, man. We want to hear from you, man. You tell me.
Yeah, Jeff, we want to hear from you, bro.
I think
go on, it's your show, Joe.
Because
I think he muted himself.
You're on mute.
You heard yourself.
Well, exactly. I had to mute myself because there's so much that can be said. But what was he saying last season about this guy in terms of playing him further forward? And this was just one game, by the way. This is the first game where Potter said, "Look, you're going to be playing, and this is how you're going to be playing. You're going to be, further up the pitch, linking up the play, rather in the boxes, winning balls. He still come back and help Conor Gallagher when he can, and I was trying to get next to him, whatever. But the ability, and it's not even just about his passing at this point. We saw something else yesterday because we know he can do that. That's saying he's good at doing. It was his balance on the ball under pressure. The way he was shimmering left and right with his shoulder and cutting through him, dragging the balls back and then whipping them over to Reece James. And some of the things I was watching, I was just like, 105 million? 155 million plus more like, because this guy, and I keep saying it, hey, he is a niche when it comes to football. There's not many footballers in the world that have the ability that he has. And this is why it was so
your
important.
talent idea has finally not let you down, man. Like, this one is one you can hang your hat on. Like, hold this one. Get rid of that Havertz scarf or whatever you have. Go get yourself an Enzo scarf.
Wait.
Enzo
Is it still there?
You're good.
Is it still there, Coach?
It's actually up here, look. It's still here in my memory.
Get rid of that, man.
Shameless.
Yo, I just gotta say this. This kid, like, I'm neither here nor there when it comes to players. Like, I don't really cling to players like that. But I'll say this: this game that we saw against Liverpool with Enzo was the first time he showed me the true value, his true value. Like, I was enamored with him. I thought that he was nice on the ball. His passing range was fantastic. Weight of pass, everything. But this was finally a complete game from him. I thought that he was very busy up and down the pitch, box to box. He was very busy. I thought that his obviously his link up play was unbelievable. He created about 3 or 4 opportunities that on any day should have been a goal. Like the one that he laid out to who was it there? Was it?
It was who was playing on the left? It was
on the left, yeah.
Who was on the left? Who
maybe
shot that?
Maybe it was Ben Chilwell for one for sure.
It was Ben Chilwell. He got the assist for Ben Chilwell's goal as well. It was him. It was
right.
Enzo.
Mate, but this goes to the point of playing him further forward, and I kept saying,
no doubt. That is without question. That is without question the solution there. We need his ingenuity in the final third, and he's showing his class there. Like he sees things that many don't. Many don't.
Jim, we've seen this since he walked through those doors. Like when we always knew you play him forward, and he didn't even have a DM yesterday. You even saw he had to come and help Gallagher out at times. And once you get that DM there, imagine how much he can excel from there. And I just can't wait to see him with Caicedo. As I said, I was in the chat before, Jim. If you got Caicedo, Enzo, and Kuku, that's on paper fantastic midfield. One of the best midfielders in the league.
You could play him. If you get Lavia as a 4-2-3-1, Caicedo, Lavia as a pivot, and Enzo in the 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you could do that.
I think you can play that role as a 10.
I was saying that start of the season. I was getting called delusion. You can't play Enzo that far, but he needs to come back. I'm like, no, you can play if you have two sixes there. It'll be fantastic the way you can hold up the ball.
Yeah, but who did you want as your sixes though?
Lavia.
I said Caicedo and whoever.
Oh, it was a card.
Yeah. What more would you want with Lavia and Caicedo as your 2 sixes? You're in trouble, man. I'm telling you, that's protection. That's full protection right there. Do you know what I mean? But
you wouldn't need to track back if you had them two there for sure. You wouldn't need to track back and help defensively. You can just stay up.
He was
in the Poch system. He will.
Yeah, Poch system will. As a
who wants to talk about this? Because I'm going to say this.
He needs a loan.
I don't think he's ready.
He needs a loan.
That sounds bad to say that, but he was very non-existent for me in the game yesterday. He didn't really affect it in the way he has the ability. We've seen it. And whatever. And people say play him, give him a chance, give him a chance. He had a chance yesterday.
Can I quickly jump on it, Jim? Because I saw the same things, and I saw the same things in Dortmund game too. Because I thought he got a big opportunity to start in the number 10 against Dortmund, and I don't think that he took that opportunity either. It's not that he's not a good player. I just don't think that I don't think that he's learned the other aspects of his game that need to improve. They haven't improved. Like his pressing wasn't very good. His understanding of where he needs to be, spatial awareness wasn't very good. Like he's very good at like stitching passes through 1-2s and whatnot, and in the final third. But all the stuff that you need to be a functional midfielder off the ball and whatnot, he's just not ready. Like he's not there. You know, that's what I saw at least.
Not a bad player, by the way. It's not like we're saying he's a bad individual, but I expected more from him, especially when it came to supporting Jackson. Jackson had no support in that first half. And look, we're going to get to Jackson in a second, but you know, you can see the difference when having like Nkunku in the team or having Akani. You see, remember when we talk about the levels, where when someone gets injured, it goes like that. Yeah, we lose Nkunku not only for his killer instinct, but also his chemistry with the forwards, including Jackson. We lose him. We bring in Carney to go into that role, and I just didn't feel it was the answer.
I think, I get where you guys are coming from, because in the first half he wasn't really imposing himself on the game, and when he got on the ball, he didn't really look as tidy as the others. I would say he kind of looked a bit flat-footed. And he was taking a little bit too long on the ball as well, like taking way too many touches to actually bring it down and control the ball. But what I would say is that he actually grew into the game a little bit. If you guys remember, like he would pick up the ball in between the lines, switch it to the other side, which would give another dynamic. Because that right side, we were killing Robertson on that side. So I don't know, maybe Poch said something to him. Look to pick it up in between the lines and switch play. And he'd done that at least 3-4 times yesterday. So when I saw him doing that, I said, okay, Carney sort of growing into the game a little bit more. And there was one bit as well where he got the ball from like a throw-in. I know I'm nitpicking here, and he turned, I think he turned Trent, and he just released it to the other side. So yeah, I think Carney's a good squad player to have. I get what you're saying in terms of he's not fully ready, but this is the whole point of bringing a manager like Poch to help him develop. So I don't think he should be starting right now, in all honesty. I don't think he should be starting, because if we're playing a team that's actually got a proper midfield, you know, it's a little too late to play Carney if he's not getting into the game. Do you know what I'm saying? By then, it could be a little bit too late, and then Poch is going to start scrambling, making changes. But as it is, I think he'll be a good player to have in the squad, you know, help him develop with the quality that we've got around him. And then, yeah, you know, maybe see out a game when there's tired legs and stuff, that sort of player. But yeah, I think yesterday, first half was completely different to the second half. But I fully get where you and Couch are coming from, 100%.
Yeah. Nearly 600.
And then also too, just on the whole idea about him getting a loan, like, let's not forget that he sat on the bench all last year too. You know, I mean, I know it was a wasted year when you consider who the managers were, but like, he's got to play football at some point. Am I wrong?
He will get games. He'll get games.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I don't think if you got Lavia coming in, I mean, if you put him in the Nkuku role, but then again you got Enzo playing there if he wants to. I think he'll get games, but would you rather him get a handful of games, or would you rather him get a consistent 35 games?
I don't think he's going to get that, because I don't think there's as many games this season for him to have that. Maybe a couple of positions, but once we get this team sorted and maybe Lavia and that comes in, it makes it very hard for him, especially when Nkunku returns in January. It makes it even harder, you know. So
that's why if you went to a team, I don't know, like, and play a consistent 35, because he's only 19. He's 20 in October.
Maybe still.
So you can get him alone for the 6 months and see how, and let him play at least 20, 25 games consistently, because even at Villa, he didn't even get that much consistency. He was playing here and there. So he still needs, I think, a season to just have a full run to get it all out.
Another Ruben Loftus-Cheek situation where he should have went on loan, and Jose kept him, and then he just didn't develop the way we wanted to.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be against him going out on loan. I just feel like he's not ready to start. I just feel like he's not ready. He's definitely not ready to start, in my opinion. And if he goes out on loan, I wouldn't be against it, because I want to see him playing week in, week out. But if he's kept as a squad player, I think he's got enough quality to at least do something if he's coming off the bench. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see, innit?
So, Nicholas Jackson, first game in the Premier League at the Bridge, up front, very isolated in the first half, in my opinion, but physicality-wise, dealt with two of the biggest defenders in the league in Konate and Van Dijk. And actually, Konate is physical, quick, strong. And some of the things that I saw him do to him on his own up front was quite scarily impressive, to be honest. The way he uses his body, the technical ability of holding the ball up, the dribbling ability, the pace from like the 90th minute to run from one end of the pitch to the other, and they're just literally hanging on to his shorts, try and stop him, and then playing midget. Like, you know, we didn't give him enough. We didn't give him enough creativity in the game, in my opinion. He had that one big chance, which I think he should have done better with, and he had that one on his left where he kind of swiped at it. But I still think we need a striker, and I'm not saying it because I think Jackson is not ready. I'm not saying that. I just think we still need to have someone else with him. But what were your thoughts on his performance yesterday up front? I know it's very hard to analyse because he didn't have loads, but from what he did do for the team, getting involved, holding up, running in behind, you know, making chances and whatever. I mean, what were your thoughts on Jackson? Whoever.
Jim, I want to say what you said before. I just want to quickly say.
Come through. I want to hear what AJ's got to say about Jackson.
Wait.
Let Matt land. Sorry, Matt. Go on.
Because I'm going to go in a second. I was going to say, Jem, I 100% agree, because he versed the two strongest defenders in the league and he still outmuscled them. Imagine what he can do to the other 18, 19 teams that are out there. So I have a lot of faith in him. Unpopular opinion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could definitely get one from AFCON. Jeez. I mean, you know what? Get Vlahovic over the line. Honestly, you know what? Even Dash for fun, I would have kept. No, even a Bamiyang. I'm sorry, I would have kept the Bamiyang just for that depth. To have him there. I'm sorry, I would have, because I don't see our ball going again another big striker. So we'll see what's there. But anyway, I gotta head out. Big up to everyone. Up to Chelsea. Yeah. Next game coming in, bigger, stronger. Let's go.
Big up.
Enzo AJ. I mean, we've already spoke about Enzo and his qualities and class and everything. We know that anyway. Me and you've had these conversations before. But Nicholas Jackson, what were your thoughts of him as a striker so far yesterday?
I mean, from my first seeing this guy, and that's when we got linked with him, I saw that he had all the characteristics. So I think yesterday it even translated into the game. But like you guys said, yesterday we played Liverpool. We didn't play just a regular mid-level team. We played a top team, especially those two defenders. So I think he handled himself well. He received the ball, he held on to the ball, he didn't give up the ball, he made the movements, he went in behind, he came short, he got shots off, he linked up. I think he did everything he needed to do. Obviously, he had one great chance where I think he should have scored, and I'm surprised he didn't score because he has that technique, like for that one-time shot. But I mean, I think he did good. I think we're being a little tough, especially on Chukwuemeka as well. Like, you know, he kind of got drowned out in the midfield yesterday because we played with like 5 midfielders. And then on top of that, Liverpool had their 3 in the middle. So I think he got drowned out of the game. It was tough. But I think they showed themselves.
One of my business partner he called me earlier, and he's a massive Chelsea fan, and his best mate is the kit man at Chelsea. He's the kit man, and he said that Nicholas Jackson, watching him in training, he goes, "I have never for a while." He said as well, he's never seen a player bully defenders and our defenders, because obviously they train with him, whatever, as much as this guy does, like bullies them on training. He said it's crazy how good and strong, technical. He bullies them in training. He said, like, it's mad.
That 90th minute run he did where he's carrying Konate for 40, 50 yards.
And then lays it up
that shows what he can do, you know. And that, again, these are the strongest defenders in the league. So
it's not the first time he did it either. Like, I remember there's another chance where he got in behind Konate and just fended him off with his right arm, and then got a shot off with his left. Like,
the issue
the fact that he created separation like that to get the shot off is.
And how long have we been asking for a striker that's just not static in the box? Do you know what I mean? Like a striker that's actually dropping deep into midfield, picking up the ball, trying to create chances for people, you know, driving at people, not just waiting around for chances to be created for them, trying to actually get involved in the game. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what his heat map looked like, because the guy was everywhere, man. That man was everywhere.
The thing about Jackson is not what I'm about to say is not even about real Jackson. It's how we can get people closer and quicker to him up there, because no doubt he'll run the channels, he'll run the line, he'll do everything possible, but sometimes I don't want him too isolated or too out of position. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree.
And you know what I mean? I don't want him. Listen, if he's up there by himself and he's running the channel, fine, but I don't want him. If we've got loads of people up there, stick to the central position, boss. Be the main, you know, whether you get the ball or not, but just be like, and I'm not even comparing him, but like a Costa or a Drogba type, where they're just a nuisance and they occupy like 2 defenders at the same time. So
do you know what it is, Andrew? You make a good point. You make a good point, but this is the whole point. This is the whole point of Caicedo, bro. Like, Caicedo is going to allow the team to push further up because they can trust that they don't need to.
Cuckoo there either to be
They can trust that they don't need to go. You know, the line can be a bit further up as well, because you've got someone there that's a bully. Caicedo's a bully in there. He bullied us at the bridge. Let's not forget what he did to us at the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So if you've got Caicedo in there,
with 5 at the back, which takes away an attacker that would naturally support Jackson in the attacking area. So yesterday was a tough game to judge because there were a lot of little nuanced changes that affects everybody's game style, you know, especially Jackson getting support. There's one less player supporting him just naturally because there's an extra defender. So that's just what's
do you know what they're doing? Do you know what some Chelsea journalists are doing? They crediting Eden Hazard as well. They just said one final great assist.
It was there yesterday, doing these bits and whatever. And look, I agree. I think Nkunku's massive. Like, Nkunku, I was so pissed off when he got injured. You know that, because you throw Nkunku in with Jackson, and what I was seeing in pre-season was the link-up play, the running off each other. Mate, they will terrorize them too. I can see it already. They will terrorize together with like a Mudryk or an Olise on the right as well. I'm telling you, we
just brought him up. That's why at least we're not done. That at least they think is getting done. That's why. I think they were just talking him. That's why Lewis Hall's gone there as well on loan. I think you know, that's why part of it as well, to send him there on loan. But at least he's got an injury as well. I'm right. Yeah, he's got an injury at the moment, hamstring or something.
Yeah, he's injured, but he's back running. I saw a picture of him running on the treadmill the other day.
For them to choose him over like Kudus, who's there, they must be pretty confident after seeing like medical reports that he'll be back. Maybe possibly after the international break, or or something like that.
I would
So,
like
but-
Kudus personally as well. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie. I think Kudus.
I think Kudus is a fantastic. I think he's more of a goal threat at the moment than Lise is. That would be
Yeah, no, facts.
Yeah, that'd be mine. He would be the actual. In like when Kudus out to January, remember guys, we don't even know when he'll be fully back with us. Do you know what I mean? But
I want to. Yeah, I want to listen
I don't
quickly.
think you can hear anything on this.
I was going to say. Let me. Can we not hear anything? No.
No. So Fata put a mute button when he was recording it. That was a problem. So you can't hear it. So what Darko did is, if anyone knows, he did the Undertaker's gong, like the sound of it, and just like he was telling Liverpool to rest in peace, and they're getting no DMs, stuff like that. He was just doing that. So, but Darko wouldn't go far in this if he wasn't supremely confident on us getting Lavia.
So Chelsea were offered the chance to sign Neymar in June, but the club decided to protect their players, including Mudryk, Fabrizio Romano said just now. So we turned away the idea of Neymar, which I think I'm so happy about because I do not really
Poch
rate
must
him.
have had a decision in that as well. So.
I don't think someone like Neymar is what we need personally.
No, we don't. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that mentality of when you've got a player like that, you just go and get them. Like, no, we're not. Chelsea are not that right now. Under Roman, maybe we would have done that. That's a typical Roman signing. But right now, we've got a clear plan, and I don't want to go off track because Mudryk needs to develop. And like I've said, in order to develop him, you need to play him.
If Poch wanted him, I'd be fine. If Poch wanted him, I'd be absolutely fine with him. But there's no way that they dismiss name without discussing it first with Poch. And remember, Poch has coached him for a year and a half as well. I know he did well under him, but maybe he's thinking it's not the right time. I think Neymar. I think we got offered Neymar at least 2 years too late.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So 2 years too late. We got too many fingers now.
But he's still a good player.
Yeah,
it's still good. I rate Neymar as a baller, but for me, not right now.
Lavia news potentially later tonight, tomorrow. If it does, we will be doing a show, guys. Don't worry, we are going to do that if it does get signed off. It's looking like positive signs, but let's wait because you know what it's like. Transfers, things can change. Caicedo, from what Secret Scout said, is that potentially an early statement, videos, images, and whatever could come as soon as tonight. So hopefully we'll have a little treat tonight of seeing Caicedo in a Chelsea shirt and talking about being at Chelsea and whatever else tonight. So watch out for that if that does happen as well. I know Callie and all that have come in as well. I've got to shoot, guys, because I've got a meeting in about 10 minutes as well. But Callie, quickly, thoughts on yesterday's game before we go?
Oh, shit, my bad. Let me do this really succinctly since you have to go. Ownership, absolute mare last season, terrible. I would think we all can agree if they bring in Lavia right after Caicedo, there's not much we can really complain about in this offseason transfer window besides literally missing a striker. We got rid of Kepa. The clear out was amazing. We revamped our midfield essentially. So, kudos to that. On to the game. That first 30 minutes, absolutely atrocious. A lot of people who started that game, Gallagher, Sterling in the beginning, it's absolutely a nightmare. I don't know what was going on. And then it reversed. Second half, Sterling, I was finally like, this is what I need to see. You just need to give me some output. Gallagher, my guy. Oh my God. Gallagher in that second half, everyone knows in the group chat, I was saying, he has to go. I need him sold like today. And now I want him in the squad for depth just because he plays for the badge. It's so hard to that intangible is so hard to get over. He really does play for the badge, similar to how Timo used to. And last but not least, the future. It's looking good, guys. That performance is what really mattered. It showed that there's progress. There's a style of play that Poch is trying to implement to give his philosophy, and he didn't even get to use his formation. He showed that he's tactically aware to switch or try something when he thinks what he usually does will not work. And it actually paid off in the other game, in the second half, of course, because we could have got murdered. And that's pretty much it.
Anytime we're on the offensive phase, we're building with a 3 at the back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Season 2.
But
absolutely.
Still stand with Poch, but from what I've seen in a short space of time, it's not surprised me. Him having a game plan and drilling them to play in a certain way is not a shock.
Wait, Jen. Last thing. And the last thing is this: based on what I saw, based on the money we spent, based on who Poch is, and based on everything and anything, top 5 is a minimum expectation, and I will not hear anyone in this fan base go below that. We need to get Champions League. Point blank simple.
Did anyone think that we got the team news very late because he made changes after he saw the Liverpool lineup?
Surfer, you're right. He did it because he saw something on the Liverpool lineup and he switched it up. Mudryk was going to play.
We got their lineup an hour and a half before. We got ours very late. Even the guys that usually get it out like early, the team lineup, we got it later than we usually do. And I'm thinking he looked at their lineup and the way they were playing and thought it may be like too attacking and stuff like that, and stuck an extra or changed the whatever, the 3 at the back or the 4 at the back, or put in Chilwell at left wing or whatever he did just to compensate. And I think that, and then I mean, I don't know what happened after that. After we scored, we were totally a different team. After we scored, we just lost them.
When Salah's goal got put off for offsides, I don't know what. Like, that's why I'm happy, because there was mentality. There was mentality in the team. They were like, "Oh, we're about to go down 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. No problem."
That would have been something.
And we should have won. We really should have won.
And they found their rhythm, and they actually played in a way that Poch wanted them, and that's the difference. Because last year we'd have just capitulated. Let's be serious. It had nothing.
So the top 5 teams get UCL this year?
Yes, it depends.
Yes, the top 5.
Depending on coefficient.
And we have the coefficient, so we can get 5th.
Yeah.
Arsenal, listen, let me put it to you this way. Like, Spurs or Arsenal can't get 5th, but we can.
Isn't it the league coefficient, though? It's the league coefficient, right? It's not
wait, league coefficient or UEFA coefficient?
No, it's UEFA coefficient. They would agree to the big clubs like AC Milan and stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't
It's going to be UEFA.
Guys,
so essentially, if you've won it before. Yeah.
We've had over, nearly 600 people here today. Big love to every single one of you guys that have tuned in.
Smash the likes.
Caicedo's a blue, 150 mil, 8-year contract. Let's have it. Hopefully, we will forget that price tag. Like Enzo Fernandez, this price tag will be forgotten, because I'm telling you now, I think Caicedo is going to be a real big hitter for us moving forward. Lavia is another one who could potentially be announced at some point today, maybe tonight. If it does, we'll be back. Transfer news, Lavia, West Ham on Sunday. We could have potentials of Caicedo and Lavia if we sign him available for the game.
Could sign Elise this week. Could sign Elise this week as well.
He could sign Elise this week. He could have Elise, but he's going to be injured. So
goalkeeper, another
a goalkeeper. Who knows with Chelsea? And on top of all that, there's going to be a lot more outgoing still. So don't think it's just all incomings. There's going to be a lot of people leaving as well. So, it's talks about Cucurella going Newcastle on a loan potentially and things like that. So there's a lot still going on, guys. But I've got a dip. Big love to use. Up the Chelsea as always. We're starting to see some more positivity going into this season. Let's hope it continues. Yeah.
Chelsea.
And
Chelsea.
we will be back.
Chelsea.
We'll be back as soon as we get any more news on Lavia and Caicedo and anything else Chelsea related, guys. We'll be back. So it'll be a busy week, I've got a feeling. So big up. See you in a bit, guys. Big love.
Peace.